since we're talking about Israel defenders, to my great disdain, I do want to go over this. Now, I have, for a while, not delved into the Contrapoints stuff, because I'm seeing a lot of dumbass shit on the timeline about it. I read most of it last night, decided that I'm going to read the entire thing with you. Do I think that Contra's old stuff has value? Absolutely. Now, she's always been like this. Now, I will also tell people, don't do what Yasin's doing, because this has, sorry for all baby lefties. Okay, well, here, I'll give you a week off then. You can come back in a week. All right, I'm not going to tolerate this leftier than thou shit. So Contrapoints has been getting some flack from a lot of people. Taylor Lorenz, San, Sean, Mike, a lot of our friends and peers have been giving her some flack for strange takes she's been having, right? Ones that seem to diminish the efforts of the pro-Palestinian movement the world over, and is particularly focused on Twitter, on the behavior of people on Twitter, which there are like valuable, voices on platforms like Twitter and Blue Sky and TikTok and like in the online space. Obviously there are, but she's been hyper-focused on Twitter. Now, as I was saying, Contra has valuable work in her catalog. She does. Her breakdown of like fascism is a great video, right? Videos on like abortion and misogyny, transphobia, like all of these things are great. And I will not diminish that. And I will even say you should check out some of her old work, because it does have value. But Contra has been making content exclusively for her Patreon, and you haven't seen a lot come out on YouTube. And she posted this last night to address some of the criticisms directly. So let's take a look. So many leftists feel betrayed because I haven't made a video on Palestine. Do they actually want a Contrapoints video on Palestine? Will they be happy if I get in a bath and pour milk on a mannequin of Benjamin Netanyahu? No. This is just like talking about the aesthetics of like her videos. I don't care about that. I've posted about Gaza occasionally and have quietly given money to Palestinian aid organizations, but I think what leftists really want is for me to join their chorus of anger. They sense some hesitation on my part and are judging me very harshly on my presumed opinions. I'd rather be judged on my actual opinions, so here they are. Is Israel committing a genocide in Gaza? Yes. Do I oppose it? Yes. Do I feel angry about it? Yes. I also feel a lot of other things. Okay. From the moment that this started and like the global population has like realized like,
oh shit, what Israel is insane. I had no idea that it was like that.
Right. My take on people with a public platform has always been, I don't need you to be out here making content every day, like regular content about Gaza. But you should be using your platform to speak out about it, make it known to your audience that you do not fuck with genocide, you do not fuck with apartheid, and direct them towards charitable organizations, like raise money, right? Like use your voice. If you're going to use it as little as possible, use it to speak out for Palestinians and not use your platform to, try and optic scold people who are vocal Palestinian advocates, because you're just muddying the waters. Don't lend any credence to the Zionist arguments, right? Like, don't play into the anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism narrative. It's very simple. To take the side of neutrality is to take the side of the oppressors, free Palestine. Right, so let's go over it. I also feel a lot of things. One, doom. The week after October 7th, it was clear the mood among Israeli leaders and civilians was overwhelmingly kill or be killed, existential panic, and unstoppable lust for revenge. It reminded me of the US after 9/11. Fair, right? And we still say it today, like it's very post 9/11. There was no reasoning or protesting them out of it, nor was it politically feasible for the US to withdraw aid to Israel on a time frame that would make a difference. It would have required replacing most of Congress and overturning decades of bipartisan strategy and diplomacy. Even in the best case scenario, it would have taken years. So there was a sense of futility, but worse, misery. Okay, I get the feeling of doom and the feeling of like hopelessness, that like nothing can change, right? I get that, and I get like the seemingly insurmountable odds, but that only makes sense if you're to pull yourself out of it. That only makes sense if you are solely focusing on the moment. just the last 4 years, the position of the broader public has changed massively. The position of some in government has changed massively. We can't just look at in the present moment and like every time there is like news out of Gaza and be like, oh fuck, it's never gonna change. You have to look at things on the scale of time. And as a philosophy person, it's shocking that she would not like have this position, right? Which only suggests to me that either she has like some like leanings towards the Israeli cause or does not care to fight for this subject, right? And like, I don't talk about Ukraine a lot because I don't feel like I have the background knowledge enough to talk about it confidently, right? In the early days, I was covering it like every day, but then I realized like, okay, this is like beyond me. Like now I don't like know enough about this to be able to speak, confidently. I do about like Palestine. Ukraine is an unironically like complex issue, but Israel-Palestine is not. I feel like it's incredibly disrespectful to the Palestinians themselves to let the doom pull her down. It hasn't pulled them down yet, has it? I mean, even if it does, like it's incumbent on those like within the imperial core, within like every other nation that is involved in this, to speak out like regularly, especially as someone like who is progressive, right? Who has like positioned themselves within the space as like, I am a progressive commentator, I make progressive content, I speak about progressive issues. Like this is it. This is like your lane. This is where you should be. Why is being against an ethno-theocratic state controversial? Well, no disrespect to philosophy majors, it is not terribly uncommon for philosophy majors who are often like anti-theist to be a little Islamophobic. It's not terribly uncommon. Like the soft sciences have led the way for emancipation and for justifications for exploitation. Like we're a mixed bag. 2, misery. So doom and misery. The leftist pro-Palestinian movement quickly decided that their primary goal was not merely opposition to genocide, but opposition to Zionism in general. Okay, cool. That is, opposition to the existence of Israel as a Jewish state. Okay. Already off to a bad start. Opposition to Israel as a Jewish state. Wrong. Opposition to Israel as a theocratic fascist ethno-state doing apartheid and accelerated genocide. That is what it is in opposition to. That is what Zionism is. Like there are calculations everyone makes who are advocates to like avoid getting, fucking your house firebombed by like Zionist organizers. Like, yes, like that is a thing that one has to calculate. But to make it about the organizers in America, this is the reason why I sat out the Jubilee episode, the one Palestinian versus 20 Palestinian advocates. This is why I sat that one out. I am not going to drive a wedge between the people who are in their own communities fighting for Palestinians because the effects of allowing a genocide to happen to Palestinians and their continued occupation, their historical occupation, affects them directly. I'm not going to drive a wedge between them and Palestinians.
Oh, it's imperfect. Oh, it's not effectual. Oh, it's not beneficial.
Liberals love to try and browbeat people before a revolutionary action, before a revolutionary tide shifts, about how they're not going to do it right, how it has to be perfect. Oh, well, are some liberal Zionists going to feel isolated? Is one more bomb gonna not be dropped? How few people are going to be killed because you were fighting against this? How long is it gonna take? Will the fascists still have their newspapers? Will they still have their media outlets? Will we still be giving aid to Israel? Are we going to sully our good reputation? Is the same logic used about immigrants as well? Yeah, immigrants will be harmed by Dems, but what about X group? You're not an ally if you make this argument? Yeah. Is there a calculation one has to make on spending packages, right? Like, okay, a little bit of funding is going to be taken from like one program so that this program can ensure that it stays afloat. You know, we can figure out ways in the interim to ensure that like that program doesn't fall by the wayside and people aren't left behind. But we have to make sure that like spending goes in certain places because we have limited budgets. Like that kind of stuff makes sense where there's a little bit of compromise here and there. But fundamentally, when it comes to human rights, when it comes to genocide, when it comes to solidarity, it's not conditional.